What's up guys, my name is Liam and today we're going to be talking about the Razer Viper V2 Pro. It came out last year. There's been a bunch of other mice that have come out since then. Is it still a viable solution? Let's find out. Alright guys, so here we have the Razer Viper V2 Pro. I actually mained the Viper Ultimate when it came out, and I honestly probably mained that mouse for a year. Last year almost every YouTube reviewer out there gave Razer the mouse of the year because of its tech, because of the optical switches, because of the 4K dongle. This is a flatter feeling shape. I like the profile of this mouse, but in my opinion it just always felt a little too long. The fact that the hump goes out for such a long time, it just makes it feel so much larger in my hands. And as you'll see, I'll do a comparison of other mice in the end of the video like I do in all my videos. You'll see that this mouse is actually not that much bigger than the other offerings out there. The smaller mice, it pretty much comes to the same length. So I thought that was pretty crazy. I honestly didn't think that was going to be the case until I started testing it out myself. When I actually got this mouse, I did not like it at all. I was actually blown away that I got a mouse like that because, in my opinion, the Viper Ultimate felt incredible. And I actually had two copies of that mouse. I got a copy, didn't necessarily, it was pretty much unusable. The clicks were bad, a ton of pre-travel stuff like that. I got a second copy. The second copy is still bad. And then this was actually all before the 4K dongle came out. I actually returned the mouse the second time, but when the new dongle came out, I wanted to give it a shot. So I went and picked up another copy, and I actually got lucky this time. This copy is flawless, and to be quite honest with you, it is probably the highest quality mouse that I have that's sitting on my desk right now. So that's good. And the fact that, you know, like I said, Razer is available everywhere, it made the process really painful. So I love Razer. Right now, they're my favorite mouse company as far as quality goes, ease of use, availability, able to obtain their products and stuff like that. Drop the sound test really quick with the pre-travel button sounds, and we'll be right back. Alright guys, so as you can see with this copy, there's like no pre-travel on the side buttons. This is the least amount of pre-travel on left and right clicks that I've had on any other mouse out there. Really impressed with this copy. When I'm actually using this mouse, like I said, it feels a little long. If you hold it like this, as you can see, it's like a good mouse to palm, I feel like, if you like a flatter feeling mouse. And I feel like this mouse is kind of hard to relax claw without getting a lot of contact there in your palm. And the way I like to play like a relaxed claw hybrid fingertip grip. And it can be done with this mouse, but I just feel like you have to scoot further and further back on the mouse in order to do that. And by doing that, you kind of lose track of the scroll wheel. I will say every time I pick up this mouse, I am impressed by it. The balancing on it is phenomenal. Build quality is incredible. The switches, there's no play. There's no pre-travel on my copies, like hardly zero. Overall, just got, I have nothing but great things to say about the tech. And as everybody else does, everybody knows it's the best. And if you know what you're looking for, you can definitely feel it out there. So definitely leagues ahead of other mice. Razer, if you can come out with more shapes, smaller shapes, it would probably end the crusade of having to look for other mice, to be completely honest with you, in my opinion. I think the grips added like 1 or 2 grams to it. So my copy is actually coming in at 60.2 grams, and that's with grips all around. So let's get into comparing it to some of my favorite other mice on the market. The Starlight-12 medium, I feel like that's more similar. As I've told you guys before, I do prefer the small, but the medium is definitely closer to the Viper. The Ninjutso isn't so much, it's actually a completely different feeling shape. But the reason that I wanted to bring the Ninjutso in here is because of the weight and the balancing and the build quality on this mouse as well. I wanted to kind of compare them hand to hand, with the price being lower as well. Then we have my main, the G-Wolves HTX. And this is going to be the most shocking one of them all when it comes to this comparison. And then we got the Lamzu Atlantis Mini. Also got the full size here. I would say overall feel and size of the mice, I would put the original size together with the Razer Viper V2 Pro. However, this does have a way more aggressive rear hump on it, and it fills up in your palm a lot more. This one's flatter. I guess it does fill up your palm, but this one goes further back, whereas this one just has a nice little bump. And I feel like this one's easier to move around. The curves in the mouse and the way you hold it, I just feel like it's easier to move around when you're using a fingertip relaxed claw grip. When it comes to the Starlight-12 medium and the Razer Viper V2 Pro, as you can see, this is my custom version here. I finally got that back shell put back on there. It actually has the Razer Viper V2 internals in it. I do prefer this shape better. I feel like this shape is just easier to move around with my relaxed claw grip style and a hybrid fingertip grip. And it's overall, it's lighter, and I was able to adjust the switches on it. I mean, I know that this trigger pull system isn't necessarily the best idea. It's probably not perfect, but it's the closest like idea that I can come up with to kind of test out switches and give you guys an idea, because there's not really a solid way to measure the trigger pull on a mouse. So you can see how much lighter these clicks are compared to these clicks when I was able to mod them and customize them myself. So 55 grams, so it's 5 grams less, so not a lot. Can I make this lighter? Yes, I could. I could put a smaller battery in there. This does have the 300 milliamp battery in there, but to be honest with you, I just didn't really feel like messing with it. You know, obviously this is insane because this is a custom build. It's twice the cost of this. So obviously this mouse should be better. And I did put the Razer Viper Mini skates on there, which I think feel actually perfect on here. Just a regular one that's not modded by me. The clicks actually do feel heavier a little heavier on the Starlight-12. I do kind of like the shape of the Finalmouse more just because it flares down more, or again, where this seems to go out longer. This one just fills up the bottom of your palm a bit more. And as far as the weight difference goes, you know, there's a slight bit of difference, but since these are bigger mice, I don't feel like it's like too much of a game changer or a deal breaker. I'd rather take the reliability and the tech over the difference in the weight. These clicks, believe it or not, I've actually never tried these clicks side by side. They actually feel pretty similar. They're not the exact same, but I would say this is the closest feeling to the Razer Viper V2 Pro clicks that I have felt. So this one obviously has way more of an aggressive hump in the back, and I just like rear hump mice. I feel like this mouse, the Ninjutso, is much easier just to move around because this aggressively goes down, where again, this one, it just comes so back in the bottom of your palm. I do kind of like this shape more, and the build quality on my mouse skin is phenomenal. I would say these are two of my highest build quality mice that I have. Between these two, I do prefer the shape of this more, but I do prefer the sensor and the switches in this one more as far as tech goes. But overall, both these mice are incredible, and the fact that this one is cheaper, it's just an absolute steal. I have nothing but great things to say about it, and you won't go wrong. And I'm sure if you get a copy that has a similar build quality to mine, that you're just absolutely gonna love it. All right, so let's get into the smaller mice now. They're just about as long as one another when it comes to the bottom of the mouse. You can clearly see the top, that this top flares out more, and this aggressive hump comes in more where that goes out longer. So overall, it feels like a much tinier mouse, but The Razer V2 Pro is also feels quite a bit wider, to be honest with you. The clicks do feel a little bit lighter on here. Is the weight difference noticeable? You definitely notice a difference there. So these two mice are very similar. In my honest opinion, look at that. They're about the same length on the bottom. As you can tell, again, the top is a little shorter, but the base of the mouse is about the same length almost. I would say that this mouse feels more like a Viper Mini than the Viper Mini. And let's go into that. Look at the shape of these. My number one gripe about the Viper Mini, just personal preference, is that I feel like the mouse is too narrow. This mouse is a little more narrow than the Viper V2 Pro, but it's much wider. Very similar profile. They have the profile feels kind of flatter on both these mice compared to other offerings in the market. This tapers off faster. The rear hump tapers off faster. So this doesn't stick in the bottom of your palm as much. I feel like this part of the back of the mouse, when I grip it like this is how I play with it, is contacting right here. Whereas again, the V2 Pro, it fills up all in here. I feel like these are both great options. These are obviously both 4K mice. These both have some of the lowest latency on the market. Actually, they do have the lowest latency on the market. The Razer takes a slight edge. The one thing that stands out between these two to me the most and separates them the most is the weight. Is this mouse still great? Yes, it is. I love it. There's really nothing bad for me to say about it other than the shape just isn't really for me that much. So again, if Razer can start coming out with other shapes and innovating more with the size of their mice, I'm cool with the weight being around 50 grams. Then I would feel like they would be pretty much untouchable as far as the technology and tech goes. But also at the same time, the other companies are starting to catch up. So that's my overall thoughts about the Viper V2 Pro. I do really like this mouse. Is it a good viable option out there for you? Absolutely. I hope this video worked out for you. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If there's any other comparisons you'd like to make, anything else you'd like me to add, definitely let me know down in the comments below. But other than that, we'll see you guys next time.